Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, A Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be Scarlett versus Zoun, or Zoun, here on Berlingrad from Katowice 2022. Bottom right, it is Zoun. Top left, it's going to be Scarlett. Alright, man. So, Zoun is a GSL qualifier, and he qualified for Katowice as well. He's an upcoming Protoss player. And Scarlett is very dangerous in ZVPs. So, let's see how this is going to come out here today. Hit that like button if you're excited for Scarlett, for her to show off what she can do against Zoun, and hatch blocking is the probe. The drone says, alright man, it's okay. Everything is alright. I'll just go ahead and expand right here. I was going to do that anyway in about 2 minutes. And ka-chow. Hatch blocking on Berlingrad when your Zerg and your opponent is Protoss is very, very, very common. Whew. Alright, and just probe, just probe harassing here. Just, checking to make sure everything is okay. Checking out Scarlett's build order. I'm a little bit under the weather still, but hopefully by tomorrow I'll be back to 100% because I feel okay and my nose is clear and, everything should be back to normal by my next cast. Gateway expand. Timing here. Cybernetics core. Ka-chow! Cybernetics core. Pylon assimilator or assimilator pylon. It doesn't really matter. If you're looking for a build order, lotv.spawningtool.com is a good place to go. A good place indeed. And also check out falconpaladin.store. It is a place you can get merch, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, pillows, all sorts of cool stuff if that's what you're into. Just falconpaladin.store. We ship anywhere on Earth. We accept a million different kinds of currencies. So if you're like, you only take US dollars, not true. Not true. We accept the euro. We accept the Australian dollar. We do. I think we accept, honestly, like South African rand currency too. So just check it out. See what you're into, what you're interested in. falconpaladin.store. Easy to remember. And easy to get to for sure. So a couple links out to deal with incoming adept harassment. Terror the Overlord saw that as a possibility, or doesn't really know that yet, but will as soon as this adept comes out. And then the next thing is going to be, boom, a Twilight Council opening from Zoun. Oh, Twilight Council here. There's your third base at 230. Oh, so what this means is Scarlett could go Spire and do some real damage here. That's the thing, Protoss, if they open up non-Stargate, then mutas are suddenly incredible in this matchup. They're usually not very good because there's a Stargate out and Phoenix exists. But it very much looks like this might... Man, is this going to be an Adept? Is this going to be a Resonating Glaives Adept all-in? Here from Zoun. What a crazy, crazy play that would be. Or Charge Lot all-in. He's not taking these extra gases here. Extra Gateway... Oh, it is Resonating Glaives. Okay, so you're going to want these gases eventually if you want a million Adepts, but... Okie doke. Going to be a Resonating Glaive Adept opening with Warp Prism support. Scarlett getting a Roach Horn would be amazing here. But I've seen Zerg players hold this off with Lings and Queens somehow magically. I don't know how they do it. I'm still trying to figure that out, but... We'll see what we get. Gateway. I'm patrolling here with the Stalker so the Overlord can't see what's going on. This Overlord is not interested in scouting at all. And Zergling gets no information, right? 2 gateways at the front. There's an Adept here. There's a Stalker. Like, playing completely blind here is Scarlett. So, I don't know. You're just going to get... There we go. Roach Horn coming in. I don't... What did she... Like, just safety roaches at this point? Or just game sense? Just, like, feeling out what it is? Recognizing an Oracle hasn't showed up yet. Or a Phoenix hasn't showed up yet, and you're kind of like, okay, so this isn't Stargate, which means I need a Roach Horn. Roaches are going to be good against pretty much anything that's coming if it's not a Stargate. So yeah, Warp Prism gets scouted, it's on its way, and yes, is definitely extra Lings getting thrown up here, Queens being produced. Bunch of Zerglings following this Warp Prism around and being like, how about you not warp super close? Yeah, forcing you to warp further away here is very, very good too. And the Adepts are marching in. Here we are, 4.5 minutes into the match, and Adepts are here. Resonating Glaives is 4 seconds from completion, and Roaches are on the way, but there's only 2 of them in production. There are none on the field right now. It's going to be very touch and go. These timing attacks are all about timing. If you can show up when the Zerg player doesn't have a lot going for them, you can win. If you show up a minute later and they have enough to defend, then you just straight up lose. And actually going Robotics Bay behind this, not going super crazy on the Adepts, right? Has 10 of them out, 11 of them out here. Circling to try to see what they're dealing with. A million Resonating Glaive Adepts. So the Roaches, there's 2 Roaches with 6 more coming in. And Queens here, Roaches here at the front. And if the Shade finishes, then the Lings are trying to get a surround on them. Beautifully done. Beautifully positioned with those Zerglings there with Scarlett, and Zoun has to pull back. So again, not all the eggs in that basket, right? Robotics Bay indicates that's not all we're doing here. What are we doing instead is the question. That's what I would like to know. Okay, a couple Adepts get into the main base. There's some Roaches here, though. War Prism thinks about it. So then the Queens are a problem. War Prism has to get out. These Adepts thinking about... No, they cancel their Shade and head on back home here, too. So actually just going for War Prism speed. Intriguingly enough, and making a Disruptor. Okay, so Disruptors on the follow-up. Man, Mutalisks would be so good. Scarlett does love her Mutas, too. She's one of the players that has consistently had Mutalisks in her repertoire, even when they were not popular with Zerg players. Like all through Heart of the Storm and early Legacy of the Void, she was going Ling Bling Muta in situations where a lot of Zergs weren't. So we'll see if she throws down that Spire. I would honestly recommend it just against a Disruptor Adept-heavy army. Mutas just crush, but also Roaches are pretty good. You just have to dodge the Disruptor hits, which the Mutas don't have to do. Fancy stuff. Third base coming in here from Zoun and kind of threatening on the creep, which is, again, in full vision. Oh, Ravagers. Ravagers popping here. That extra range, too. Like, that's the thing. Ravagers against Zealots, against Reapers, against Adepts. Very, very good with that extra range. They're a little less tanky. They're a little squishier than Roaches are, but having that ability to hit them from distance when they can't hit you is amazingly good. Like, Roach is a fine unit, but just their lack of range is a problem. And the fact that they take bonus damage from like a million different units is also a problem. But anywho, Disruptor coming in. This is going to unload. Oh, yeah, so Disruptor shot. Oh, does get 4 drones. Connects on a Queen. Can't one-shot a Queen with that damage, obviously. And a couple Adepts, getting into the third base and causing some problems there too, and then also very much dying. So, a couple of drones die. Fourth base on the way from Scarlett, 12 o'clock base. Is it too late for that? I don't know. Adepts and Stalkers cruising across the map right now. Now the Stalker count is high enough that if Mutas show up, it's going to be a little bit harder for the Mutas. So I like that we've added this into it. Also, Stalker's pretty good against Roaches and Ravagers. Stalker is kind of an all-around great unit in these situations. Not great against Lings surrounding. The Banelings, I don't know about... I guess the Banelings are here for the Adepts, but the Roaches and Ravagers can handle them pretty fine. I don't know about Banelings. So the Banelings kill the Adepts quickly, right? Nice dodge there. And then the Roaches and Ravagers can focus on the Stalkers alone. I guess that's maybe the concept here. Not going to say no to it. Lings cruising down the left side, maybe going to try to get into this third base, but 3 shield batteries are problematic if you're trying to do this thing. Army value is even, which does not bode well for Scarlett because she has a Roach Ravager style composition, and she should be up in army supply right now, but her fourth base was late. Banelings are connecting on some of these Adepts. Okay, not in the most incredible connections here of all time. Adepts shaded up, canceled, came back around. Lings do get into this base. Banelings are trying to connect on. The Lings are in the way. There we go. 11 probes go down. Excellent connection there. Shield battery overcharge is up. Stalkers warping, but Stalkers warping back home instead of at the front, which is exactly what Scarlett would prefer. Is the Stalker's not warping at the front here. 95 to 85 army supply. Scarlett has a lead. Crystal Pile's landing. Focusing down. The Disruptors are dying. That's not good. They're a really big part of this army. One of them does manage to make it away here, but the Stalkers and Adepts are just kind of hanging out. Defender's advantage kicking in here from Scarlett from all sides. Roaches, Ravagers from the left, from the right. The Disruptor dies. Another Disruptor comes to join the party. Does get a massive hit off. Yes! Big time hit off there on the left side. 49 to 53 armor supply. More and more Roaches coming in. Drones are here to fight as well. Is there enough here for Scarlett to handle this? 17, 18 drones have gone down. Too many workers maybe have died for Scarlett, but if she can barely hold on here, throw up another huge round of workers. Banelings crashing in, killing 16 probes. So Scarlett has taken some major hits to her economy, but she's dealing damage to Zoun's as well. Dude, these Stalkers are just... Some of them have 7, 8 kills here. Roaches trying to stand on in. The Blink Stalkers might get so frustrating to fight against with Roaches. Really, honestly, some more Lings would not be too terrible here, adding them into the composition as well. It's 44 to 29 workers. Zoun's economy is not hot at the moment. This is crazy right now. Scarlett, defender's advantage. Third base died. But it's still technically on 4 total bases here. Some drones coming down. But being able to deal with this army, the split on the roaches is pretty good there. War Prism keeping the Disruptor alive. This is a very concentrated attack we're seeing right now. Zoun is continuing to pressure in. He knows he needs this thing to succeed if he's going to win this game. He's only at 29 probes. He's not making any more workers at all. These Stalkers are just absolutely crushing, but continuing to be able to produce 10 roaches at a time to the 1 Stalker at a time here from Zoun. This is absolutely bonkers banana pants. 10 minutes into the game, Stalkers are just right inside. The drones are trying to buy some time. Roaches are cruising in, but again, the bonus damage that Stalkers do versus Roaches is super good, and that's your GG. Zoun ends up winning it with all of 29 workers to his name and a total army of 17 Stalkers, man. What else do you need in ZVP sometimes is just Stalkers, right? Absolutely insane stuff. Scarlett handled the early Adept pressure very well, but the transition into Blink Stalkers was extremely hard for her to deal with. Kill micro from Zoun was fantastic. The Blink Stalker, 6 kills, 3 kills, 3 kills, 6 kills, 10 kills on this Stalker, 5 kills on that one. The Disruptors got 6 as well. The resources lost are 14,500 to 9,000 in favor of Zoun. And sure, Scarlett has this base, Scarlett has this base, but when there's a big Protoss army on your front door, yeah, just not going to happen. She only had 5 roaches against 17 Stalkers. Stalkers do bonus damage versus the roaches, and there's no economy here for Zoun. Hardly at all at that 3rd base, and then just kind of limping along. Income favoring the Zerg, but, you know, Defender's Advantage only goes too far. Roaches are just not as good as you want them to be, it turns out. So, GG there, in a bit of a shorter match than what we usually get here, but I kind of wanted to see how these two matched up, and there just wasn't like a 25-minute ZVP between these two players. Obviously, Zoun trying to kill Scarlett fast, and he succeeded on that front. So all he made today were Adept, Stalkers, and Disruptors, man. That's about it. Some splash damage versus the Roaches and the Ravagers. 68 Roaches died. Woo, 68 of them. Only 26. I mean, that's more Roaches than Adepts and Stalkers combined. That went down today, and that's part of this resources loss discrepancy that we're seeing there. So, fantastic display. Zoun's like, look, if your Adept all-in doesn't work, you don't have to keep making Adepts. You can switch it up into something else. And Blink Stalkers are pretty amazing. They're versatile. They're quick. They're really good against Roaches. I would have, again, preferred to see Scarlett maybe throw up more Zerglings in the situation. But the problem is the threat of Resonating Glaive Adepts makes it really hard to do that. And sure, at this stage of the game, there weren't any, right? There were no Resonating Glaive Adepts left. But this Zoun has the ability to warp in a couple Adepts to the front lines if a giant flood of Lings shows up, and then suddenly the Lings are not as good. So it's just kind of the little back and forth here. Scarlett probably worrying about that. Thinks she can do what the Roaches can't quite pull it off. Spending her money very, very well. I mean, was up there at how many workers? 35, like 70? She had 70 total workers in the game at some point. Maybe a little bit less depending on the time frames here. But yeah, great job. Great job by Zoun. It just shows why he's a GSL qualifier, why he is so good and up and coming here. Maybe he's not winning Premier tournaments yet, but I feel like he will get there. He's just very strong, very technically correct. And just on-the-fly decision-making is excellent, too. So, excellent, good job by him. And that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.